Form refers to the way the parts are arranged on the canvas, and by parts is meant the lines and shapes and colors. It's crucial that we notice the form of a work of art because form, the interrelationship of all the parts, is key to understanding what the painting means. But it's not always easy to spot the form because we're often too busy looking at the picture. The picture distracts us and gets in the way of our noticing the underlying form or structure. Is this painting a picture? No baby screaming, no Mussolini black shirts beating up civilians, no screaming victims of an air raid. So if we have no picture, the picture can't get in the way of our noticing the form. In fact, this painting is nothing but form, pure form, and thus is a good example to use to help us understand how form works to organize our viewing experience. Okay, if there aren't any recognizable objects in this painting, what do we see? Well, lines and colors and shapes. And how are these lines and colors and shapes related to each other? The lines are straight and they intersect each other at right angles to form squares and rectangles. The colors are red, blue, yellow, and white. Let's start by looking for areas which balance each other, and also for areas that seem to come toward us and areas that seem to shy away from us. There's a kind of rhythmic experience we can get from this painting, depending on where our eye first lands, where it lingers, where it jumps to next. And when observing the different lengths of the rectangles making up the strips, the rhythm varies according to where one looks. See the two large vertical sections that I highlighted with different colors? They're not the same size, they are asymmetrical, but even so, does it seem to you like they balance out against each other? The eye often goes straight to empty spaces, but for example, all that complex activity in the upper left seems to have enough weight to pull you out of the large white empty square in the lower right, thereby balancing both sides. And the same seems to be true of the areas I put green borders around. They counterbalance each other. By balanced, I mean that the eye doesn't linger too long anywhere on the canvas, but is encouraged by the form to keep roaming freely and rhythmically. There are three horizontal divisions too. The bottom seems to be slightly larger, but doesn't have as much activity going on, so when our eye drifts down there, it doesn't stay long and is gently encouraged to dart back up. The longer areas within the strips take longer for the eye to pass over. This helps create a time element or rhythm in the picture. One of the properties of colors that are placed next to each other is that certain colors, like red for example, one of the so-called warm colors, tend to pop out at us. But colors like blue, a so-called cool color, tends to retreat or shy away from us, which adds to the visual movement we experience in looking at the canvas. The eye has a tendency to move continuously over the surface, drawn by the larger color masses, jumping from one to another. The smaller squares create an illusion of blinking or staccato rhythm. The painting is in a state of constant flux. The rhythm varies according to where we start looking. Notice the small red rectangle at the bottom, which pulls down and centers the large colored rectangles in the upper canvas. Well, we don't want to overanalyze this painting. The point here is simply to get a sense of how to go about looking for form or structure, the way the parts are organized. Why? Because, and now I'm going to tell you a secret, it's actually the form of a work of art that reveals to us the meaning of a work of art. Art communicates, and it communicates to us through artistic form.
The Boogie Woogie is traditionally a blues. That's just it. I think the coolest thing about a Boogie Woogie is what the left hand does. That's the boogie part. The Woogie part is the right hand and how it solos. What seems to be the left hand is all of the smaller squares that are, just continuing to wipe across the painting from left to right. The right hand is the larger pieces. It's a conversation of the left hand and the right hand. It's a conversation between how do you perforate the white space? That's a C. The two blues are C, and then those two up there. Boom, ding, ding, ding. I mean, this is a score. Pre-ball, G-dog, ba-da-ba-da.